gentlemen, first of all, I would like to thank, of course, CPDC and Dr. Yi for having me here, for inviting me, and let me present our company to you. My topic for you today is software stacks, tools, and services for easy integration of ISOBUS into ag machinery products. And the agenda of my speech today is first a short introduction to OSB Connagtive, then to answer the question, what is actually ISOBUS? Because I think not everyone here in the room has the same knowledge level about that. Then I would like to talk a little bit about ISOBUS standardization, just a short chapter, and then we come back to our company, to OSB's portfolio, OSB's products and services, and I would also like to tell you how OSB is actually active currently in China. So OSB Connagtive, we call ourselves the ISOBUS experts, and we are delivering high-class software and system development for mobile machinery, specifically in the field of ISOBUS. We are 30 people in Munich, in Germany, and Sarajevo, Bosnia. We focus 100% on ISOBUS software stacks, applications, and tools and services. And we have over 20 years of experience and expertise in ISOBUS. We have more than 150 customers in 25 countries worldwide on 5 continents. That means although we are a small company, but we are working and acting in a niche, so we are a market leader for ISOBUS software stacks and tools worldwide for independent ISOBUS software. And we have a complete portfolio for all ISOBUS functionalities and the needed tools. That means we have a software stack for the ISOBUS communication and for the ISOBUS functionalities that you need for the ECUs, for the embedded controllers in tractors and implements. But we also have software modules for ISOBUS terminal functions that you need for the displays to make it ISOBUS compatible. And we have development tools running on the PC of the developer to help your developers to integrate ISOBUS functionality into your products. We also have some ready-to-go software applications that run on displays. So now I come to this chapter, what exactly is actually ISOBUS? ISOBUS is the standard for the electronic communication in agricultural machines. I think this you know. And I have 3 examples for you today to explain you some, not all, but some of the important functionalities of ISOBUS. The first example is Universal Terminal, UT, and Auxiliary Control, AUX-M. So these functionalities can be used by the driver to control the machine which is behind the tractor, using the tractor integrated ISOBUS display and also the tractor integrated joysticks and buttons. That means if you have a tractor, you usually have to connect and implement behind the tractor, of course, to do the work. And very often the implement is not from the same manufacturer as the tractor. So different brands. And of course, most of the time you have for one tractor more than one implement. So you will also change the implement behind the tractor, which is probably again from a different manufacturer. And then you would like to control all those implements behind your tractor with the same system with the same user controls inside the tractor cabin. And this is what you can with UT and logs. By the way, if you sometimes read UT, Universal Terminal, and sometimes VT, Virtual Terminal, that's exactly the same, just two different names for the same thing. So that means if you have a tractor integrated display here, the machine will send its graphical object pool, its graphical user interface to the tractor terminal, and it can be controlled by the user on the screen, or it can be controlled also by the user on the joystick buttons of the tractor. What you need for this is an ISOBUS compatible implement ECU and an ISOBUS compatible display in the tractor and tractor ECU, and everything's connected by one physical layer, which is CAN bus based and which runs the ISOBUS protocol according to the standard ISO 11783. So that means actually then on your display, if you connect different machines to the back of your tractor or to the front of the tractor, you can always control it with the same system inside the tractor. That's UT and auxiliary. Here there's an example for a joystick. In this case it's a fin joystick, which is integrated, built into the tractor, but you can assign functions of the implement to the different buttons and joystick functions. So the second example is the so-called task controller, TC. The task controller is for automated control of the implement by the task controller software, which runs on the display, and the GNSS position signal, which is fed into the display. You can control functionalities of the machines, like section control or variable rate control. That means, for example, if you control every single row of a planter, you are able to do this, for example, seeding without overlapping in the field, because each row of the planter is automatically switched on and off according to the GPS position and according to the known machine geometry. Or in this case, we feed a so-called prescription map to the terminal, to the task controller software, and then the task controller will automatically switch the application rate of the machine. Can be a seeder, a sprayer, a planter, a spreader, whatever. Automatically the application rate of the machine is switched according to the application map that we can see here. So both functions, section control and variable rate control, are functions of the task controller. Here is just another picture to show you what section control actually does in the sprayer. If you drive like this and you cross the already applied area, section by section, the system will switch off to avoid overlapping and waste of resources. And just some more pictures for the application map, prescription map, and variable rate example. So whenever you enter a different zone with a different application rate in the field, it's automatically switched. Of course, for this you need some prescription maps prepared, for example, based on soil mapping or other input information before. I have a third example for an important ISOBUS functionality, which will become more and more important in the future, and it's called Tractor Implement Management. The short form is TIM for Tractor Implement Management. Tractor Implement Management can be used from the implement to command functions of the tractor and request power from the tractor. Because actually the implement knows best what it needs to do its work, right? And the tractor is just the power source, so to say. So TIM enables the implement to command the tractor in terms of vehicle speed, implement can tell the tractor go faster, go slower, stop, drive. It can steer the steering of the tractor, it can control the PTO, the power take-off, switch it on and off. It can control the oil flow from the tractor hydraulic valves, and it can control hitch positions and also top linkage cylinder positions. So, with this TIM standard, which is also part of ISOBUS, of course, there's a whole bunch of new possibilities for new process automations or better control processes in the field. And now I would like to show you a video which is about 3.5 minutes, which shows you as a summary of the last machine Plattfest in Germany, which was established by AEF, and where a lot of developers from different tractor and implement brands came together to actually test TIM functionality in the field.
Welcome and Neuer in Martendorf. We are the 3 TIM team leads, and this 3 days we are testing here TIM systems in real operation. So TIM is allowing the implement to control tractor functions like vehicle speed, guidance, hydraulics, and PTO. Hey, Lars and Minas, let's see the systems in the field. So welcome to our test field for our TIM round balers. Manually driving round baler takes the operator to drive, collect the material, wrap the bale, eject the bale, and restart the operation. And that's for every single bale. Over time, that can be quite a repetitive action. So with TIM, the implement takes over control and automates the process. Minas, how's that working?
Yes, so what happens is that operator needs to only press TIM act button. From there on, baler takes over. Baler starts the tractor, the baler shifts itself left to right to make an even bale. Once the baler is full, stop the tractor, releases the bale, and to start the next cycle, operator only needs to press act.
Welcome to the potato harvesting use case test field. In the back of us there is a potato harvester, and driving the system manually, the driver usually does not push the system to the limit, because if it's plugged up, then it can take up to 1 hour to clean it up manually. The TIM automation takes over control and allows the implement to speed or control the tractor speed. Here's an example.
Yes, here's our harvester Evo 280. It's equipped with our option Speedtronic Cruise, and it's also, Benjamin mentioned, very helpful for our customers so that they can push the machine to the limit and get more out of our machine.
So the harvester itself takes the best optimum out of throughput of material and crop protection. In the end, you have an efficiency gain if you use the TIM automation.
In this setup, we are seeing the TIM guidance function controlling the tractor's guidance system. We are not replacing the system, we are connecting both systems together. What is the main benefit from connecting these systems together?
The main benefit for us is performance, and the same performance across all tractor brands. Yes, we have to test in the field because it's not possible to simulate this kind of behaviour, so we need days like this where we can get on all tractor brands to test the performance.
So what makes AF TIM truly groundbreaking is not just the technology, it's the trust behind it. Shared standards, AF certification, and true collaboration across brands. If it's just baling, if it's harvesting or the guidance system, TIM adapts to the task.
Trusted manufacturers, trusted system. We've been working for years to come so far. It's not about competition, it's about cooperation. The machines act as one system. The IF is certified the TIM system. If this certifies mismatch, the automation won't work.
And here at Berlin, we are at TIM Machine Plattfest. We manufacturers want to make sure that TIM is not only standard, it actually works well in the field. TIM is not only automation, it's real, intelligent cooperation.
Yes, that was about TIM, of course. be a lot of other functionalities of ISOBUS that could be mentioned, and a lot of details of each functionality that could be interesting, but this would probably need the whole rest of the day to talk about all this, so this is enough of the examples for now. I would like to talk a little bit about what is necessary for a successful standardization of the ISOBUS. So what are the requirements to make it really functioning? And one thing is, of course, that we need a standardized communication protocol. And this protocol always has to be extended, enhanced, and further maintained according to fixes, but also according to new functionalities that's coming up. And then we need, of course, a standardized physical layer and connectors. That's already done. But also here, there are of course thoughts of having a new generation to make it more performing. Then it's very important not only to have a standardized protocol, but also to have definitions regarding the size and the appearance of the UI, defining all the objects that can be used in the user interface, because it has to be compatible between the implement, ECUs, and the displays. There are a lot of definitions and rules for individual workflows and functions that also are standardized and have to be further maintained in the ISOBUS standard. What is also very important is a good conformance testing of the products. So if we develop ISOBUS products, we should conformance test it with the AEF conformance test to make sure that they are really compatible with the ISOBUS standard. So now I talked already twice about AEF, and you have also seen the AEF machine breakfast video. What is AEF actually? AEF is the Agricultural Industry Electronics Foundation, which is responsible for defining the protocol, the functionality, and the conformance test. So it's an industry organization of the international agricultural machinery industry, and nearly 300 manufacturers worldwide, also a lot of Chinese manufacturers nowadays, are represented and networked within the AEF, working on the maintenance, the new features, and the performance testing for ISOBUS. And to wrap up that ISOBUS chapter, I will now again show you a video which is about 2.5 minutes, showing you the role of AEF in ISOBUS standardization.
This is Paul. Paul is a farmer. He loves working in the fields, even though farming isn't the easiest job. For example, when tractor, terminal and implements from different manufacturers do not work together smoothly. Non-standardized electronics, poor compatibility. For Paul, it's frustrating. What can he do? His neighbour told him about ISOBUS. ISOBUS is a norm and technology. It defines a standard and is, so to speak, the language between tractor, terminal and implement. With an ISOBUS compatible terminal, Paul can control several ISOBUS compatible implements cross-manufacturer. By looking for common functionalities between the different ISOBUS products, Paul can save time and money, reduce setup times, increase user-friendliness, improve safety. There is finally a clear view in the cab. Paul is thrilled. Can you get started immediately via plug and play using a standardized 9-pin plug? His neighbour has an important tip on this. Before Paul starts, he needs to know what works in which detail and with what. So which implement can be operated with a tractor's ISOBUS terminal, and which functionalities are supported by the combination of vehicles? The AEF ISOBUS database knows the answers. Here, Paul can find all AEF-certified ISOBUS products. He gets information about ISOBUS functionalities, and he can check the compatibility of ISOBUS products. He is playing it safe. Paul is thinking, in future he should only buy AEF-certified ISOBUS products and pay attention to the compatibility of the functionalities. To do this, he checks the AEF ISOBUS database. This gives him investment security when making purchasing decisions and saves him a lot of trouble during the season. Paul, do you have anything to add?
Farming is not the easiest job, but it can be the smartest, with ISOBUS.
You want to work as smart as Paul? AEFonline.org.
Yes, but now let's come back to OSB Connective and how we can help you to integrate ISOBUS into your products. What we ensure at OSB is that we have software libraries and tools that are always available for all ISOBUS functionalities defined by AEF. So we would like then, with that, tools and stacks enable our customers to develop their products as easy and quick as possible with ISOBUS compatibility. Our typical customers are tractor and agricultural machinery manufacturers who make their products ISOBUS compatible by using our stacks and our development tools. But also terminal or steering system manufacturers who would like to make their displays ISOBUS compatible using our ISO cores libraries. And also tier 1 suppliers who produce systems and electronic components and would like to prepare their components with ISOBUS integrated communication and also maybe applications. What is our product portfolio? If you look here on the left side, the blue column, that's the libraries. The libraries are packaging the ISOBUS communication and the ISOBUS functionality, which is standardized into a piece of software which is integrated into the machine, into the embedded controller, into the display, and takes over all the standardized ISOBUS communication and functionality stuff for you. So if you use that, you do not need to care about the actual ISOBUS functionality. You just use this library and then put your application logic on top, for example, for your machine control, tractor control, whatever. Then we have the green column here, the tools, which are for the developers to create the user interfaces, to design the machine geometry, and also to create some simulation and test environment for testing and validation of your developed software and system applications. And also, of course, we provide services here on the right side, which are important for you if you need some consultancy from us, if you need some support for the development, and we can also always take over AEF certification for you. I also have now some more video snippets to just give you some more details of the different product categories. That were the libraries, and now for the tools. Designer to create the graphical user interface of a machine. Geometry of the machine configuration, which is important for the task control functionality. consists of different tools. One is ISO Simulate, which you can use to simulate a complete environment of all display functionalities. And then we have ISO Test to simulate implements. And ISOLize to analyze the CAN communication, very specific for the ISOBUS. And this is a demo device for fairs. So, and there's another one to describe our services. We can always guide you through your ISOBUS project. We can help you developing your software if it's requested by you. And we can handle the complete AEF ISOBUS certification for you. Yeah, some last slides. Why should you actually use these products and services? What are the advantages of using our software to achieve your ISOBUS integration? One thing is, of course, that everything comes from one source because we have a complete portfolio. So everything you need for your ISOBUS project, you can get from us. We will be always updated with the standard, so we always guarantee that we have the newest functionalities, the newest releases of the standard also implemented in our specs. Our support is always fully included in the price. So there's a license price per unit for our stacks, for our libraries as usual, but there are no extra costs for maintenance or for technical support. Maybe one of the most important reasons is that the libraries have proven their worth in many, many different use cases all over the world, and of course in a huge amount of machines. And in case of capacity bottlenecks or lack of know-how on your side, we can always provide the right service package for you. How are we positioned in China actually today? What we understand now is that it's important for us to strengthen our local presence here in China. Currently we have about 20 customers. In the past, it was mainly the steering system manufacturers who were our customers in China because they wanted to integrate ISOBUS into the displays, specifically for the overseas markets. But nowadays, we see that it's more and more important for us to work with the tractor manufacturers in China to integrate ISOBUS, and also we start to work with implement manufacturers or with suppliers and service providers who work with implement manufacturers. So ISOBUS is also now, let's say, taking off in the implement sector in China. Since the beginning of 2026, we have hired an executive assistant for the China business. She's also here with me, Niala, to improve and facilitate our communication and our response times. And we have recently established a partnership with CPDC and are currently looking together for employees for an OSB ISOBUS support desk in China. So, having all this said, I would like to address the question to you. Do you think it would make sense also to adopt ISOBUS standard as an electronic communication standard for agriculture in China? What is your thought about that? Yeah, now I'm curious about the next presentations that we can expect for the ISOBUS topic. And I would like to thank you very much for your attention. See you.